Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today's video is a collective haul. So I think this would have been all my purchases from July. So I don't think I've bought anything in August yet. And I know some of these things for sure I bought then. So first up, I found this really cool lamp that screws into the wall, but then you can kind of pull it out from the wall. I thought this would be really good over my desk area, and you just put a bulb in it, and I thought I could probably find one of those shades that clips right onto the light bulb, and that it would work pretty well. And then I found another Better Go Homes and Gardens cookbook that I didn't think I already had, but I do already have. So I think this might be like the third time this has happened recently. So it's time to make a list or like take photo or something of all the ones that I have, because clearly I cannot remember them all, but that's all right. And then I was so excited to find this Frank Sinatra record from when he was with the Tommy Dorsey band, which is kind of how he got his start. I think I've mentioned before, I don't look super frequently at records, but sometimes I feel compelled to because I'm afraid I'm going to miss a record, and I'm glad I looked today because or on the particular day, because I ended up finding that. And then next I found this light fixture cover. Literally recorded this and re-recorded it 5 times because I keep saying the wrong thing. It was pretty inexpensive, and I've been wanting something to switch in my office. The one that's in there is, I guess, technically vintage. It's probably like 80s vintage though. This kind of gave me some 70s vibes, but I already put it up in my office and I love the way it looks. I think it looks way better than the old one. And I was really excited to find it because I've been looking for vintage lighting a lot since we bought the house, but I haven't really found anything that I really like, but other than this and that lamp that I found earlier in the video. And then next we found another board game. If you don't know, I have a really big collection of vintage board games, and we are actually learning how to speak French, or I guess relearning. I used to actually be able to speak French when I was a kid, but I've been wanting to relearn how to speak it. So when I found this French board game, I thought, oh, this is really cool, and it was really inexpensive as well. I did know what that meant, but I forgot. I feel like whodunit maybe might be what it says, but it was in really good condition, which I was right. It was in really good condition though, which I was excited about, and I love when the instructions are still there. Even though if you do ever find a board game that you want and you don't have the instructions, you can usually find them online, but it's just nice to have the originals. I just think it's cool. You could definitely tell that this was a board game from the 70s, especially when you opened it up and looked at the photos. And then next we've got 2 VCRs. We've basically been trying to just buy VCRs whenever we see them, so that we just have a bunch. But John found one for $3.50, I think. I should say if we find them cheap. And then our friend actually had an extra, or he just had it at his house and he wasn't using it, and he gave it to us. And then John found this VHS rewinder. We were talking about like wanting to get one because they used to make them in the shape of like sports cars, which I think is cute, but that one's just a plain one. And then I also found these 2 brand new Ikea floating shelves. Now I'm not sure how much these would have originally been, but I know Ikea's like pretty reasonably priced as far as I know. But these were only $1.50 each, and I just thought that was a great deal. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with them yet. I like having options to work with when I do want to do projects. So if I see things in thrift stores, I am likely to pick them up if I think I can use them in the future. And I thought this was way too good of a deal, and they were in perfect condition. So I got those, and they were originally sold at a different thrift store for $3, I guess, but they were only $1.50. And of course, it wouldn't be one of my hauls if there was not some VHS in it. So I think we all saw this coming. John actually found this for me. He went to this store that sells vintage things. And I'm a big Fleetwood Mac fan. And I was a bit disappointed because they didn't have any VHS because I told him to look for VHS. But then when he came home, he's like, oh, I did actually find they did have one VHS. And he gave that to me. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. So I'm excited about that. I've actually been working on like a whole new setup for all the VHS since we outgrew our original one. Yeah, and then we also found this Eagles tape as well. We have like a small collection of like music VHS, so we've been like slowly adding to that. We have a big collection of like TV shows that we've been thrifting as well, which I think I shared in my VHS video. So we found a season of Will and Grace. We were really excited to find this Thundercats. This I actually got in that store that I did the walkthrough in. I didn't get it the day I did the walkthrough, but we saw it in there and decided to get it. That was one of our favorite shows when we were kids. And then John also found this Star Wars trilogy, like bonus material DVD. And then he also found The Force Awakens. We're trying to get all of the Star Wars. And then he found the Ewoks, both movies. I had been talking so much about wanting to find the VHSs because I've never seen them before. And I just thought they'd be cool to have. We actually just recently rewatched these movies. We went on a big Star Wars marathon. And I thought it was cool that he found that. What's Eating Gilbert's Grape is one of my favorite movies of the 90s. It's so good. This Requiem for a Dream movie is also really good, but it's also really like weird as well, so I could see how it might not be for everyone. And then we also found Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. We can't remember if we've seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or not, but I love the original Willy Wonka. I've never heard of this movie before, but John says he's seen it before and that he really liked it, so. And then we found a bunch more VHS. At this store we went to, I think they have them $5 for $1 or maybe $6 for $1. They're pretty picked over, and a lot of them we already had, but we had gone in there previously and bought like 50, I think, so. But we did find some more that we didn't have. I've been working on the storage of them. I've been also cataloging them in an Excel sheet, and like it's up over 700. I think it's like 749 is what I'm on right now, and I definitely don't have them all cataloged, so it's pretty intense, but I love it. One thing that's really been shocking me as we've been finding and buying all these VHS is how many movies with like big name actors in them that we've just never heard of before. And so it really makes you wonder like how many movies have actually been made in total, because you might think that you've seen like, oh, I've probably seen every movie this actor's been in, but then you find like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 movies that you've never heard of that they're in. So it's just funny. This movie, we've never heard of it before, but it had all this like really rave kind of reviews. So we thought that was cool, but we haven't watched it yet. I think I might have already had Young Guns too, but I wasn't sure if I had the first one or the second one or both. I've never seen this, but I think it's sort of like a spoof movie, kind of like the Brady movies in the 90s were kind of like spoof movies of the Brady Bunch. They were funny though. This is one of the movies that I'm talking about. Like, I love Gina Davis and Michael Keaton. Never heard of this movie before. We were both like, wow. We haven't watched it yet, but so basically now we've just been picking up any movies, even if we've never heard of them before, because we're like, well, they're worth a watch once for like 10-15 cents. And then I was super excited to find a whole bunch of classic films as well. So I can't believe I didn't already have Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, but very excited about that. And it's an MGM movie as well. And this looks really interesting too. It's about like amusement parks, and I'm going to assume they share a lot of like old ones from like the 40s and 50s. But I just thought that was cool. We've got a John Wayne film here. I think I've seen every John Wayne film ever, probably multiple times, because my dad and my mom too, but my dad is a huge John Wayne fan, so I grew up like seeing them all the time. Paris When It Sizzles is one of my favorite old movies. I actually just watched it a few weeks ago. It's so funny. I love Audrey. It's a lovely movie. I guess maybe they're not all classic films, because obviously this isn't a classic film, and I don't think that's another film we've never heard of before though, and we were like, oh, like we like both of these people. This movie I don't think is that old either, but I think I might have even put it with my classic films. I was so excited to find this Fred Astaire movie. I have so many of his films now. I'm gonna try to get them all. Another like Western film. I've actually heard that this was pretty good, but I don't know if I've seen it before. And then I was excited to find this Danny Kaye movie as well, or like, you know, like about him. I was very excited to find this as well. And then this movie, I actually already had, but the cover was different, so I was second guessing myself, but I was like, I feel like I already have that, but I don't know. And then this, I'm pretty sure Dragnet was like an old TV show from the 50s, maybe. I feel like it was black and white. I don't really know what it was about though. So this is obviously just a remake or something, so I guess it's not technically a classic film, but I think that's probably why I categorized it in with that. And then John, out on his own at some point, found this Planet of the Apes box set at Valley Village, I think. I am so excited about this. I love the Planet of the Apes movies so much. We only had the first one, and so I've been talking about trying to find the rest of them forever. So now we have like all the originals. So yeah, anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon.